So, you've heard about crypto arbitrage. It's this almost mythical idea of making risk free money just by buying a coin on one exchange and selling it for more on another. It sounds like a cheat code, right? A strategy that prints money whether the market is soaring or crashing. Picture this: Bitcoin is trading for $65,100 on one exchange, but at that exact same moment, it's $65,300 somewhere else. That $200 gap, in a perfect world, that's pure profit just waiting for you to scoop it up. You're not trying to predict the future. You're not staring at complicated charts. You're just cashing in on a temporary price glitch. But here's the $1 million question: if it's really that simple, why isn't everyone doing it? The hard truth is that most people who try crypto arbitrage, especially when they're starting out, end up losing money. They get drawn in by the promise of easy cash, but are totally blindsided by the hidden traps and brutal realities of how this game is actually played. In the next 15 minutes, I'm going to show you exactly how crypto arbitrage really works, step by step. More importantly, I'm going to pull back the curtain on the hidden risks, the profit killing mistakes, and the real reasons most people fail. By the end of this, you'll understand this strategy better than 99% of the people who try it. Before we even get into crypto, let's break down arbitrage in the simplest way possible. Forget about exchanges, wallets, and blockchains for a minute. Imagine you collect rare sneakers. You're constantly scanning different online marketplaces. On one site, you spot a super sought after pair of sneakers for $500. You know for a fact that on a more popular marketplace, that same pair consistently sells for $700. What do? You instantly buy them for $500, list them on the second site, and sell them for $700. After you subtract shipping and marketplace fees, you might walk away with $150 in pure profit. That is arbitrage. You took on almost no risk because you weren't gambling on whether the sneaker's value would go up later. You just exploited a price difference that existed at the same time across two different markets. Crypto arbitrage is the exact same idea, just with digital assets instead of sneakers. You buy a crypto on exchange A where it's cheap and, in theory, simultaneously sell it on exchange B where it's pricier to pocket the difference. So, why do these price differences even exist? In a global 24/7 market, shouldn't prices be the same everywhere? Well, unlike traditional stock markets, the crypto market is incredibly fragmented. There's no single source of truth for the price of Bitcoin. Instead, you have hundreds of separate exchanges all over the world, each its own little island economy with its own buyers and sellers, its own trading volume, and its own level of liquidity. A sudden flood of buying on a Korean exchange might drive a coin's price up there, while the price on a US exchange lags behind for a few moments. Or a huge exchange might have super stable prices, while a smaller, less popular one has wilder price swings. These temporary disconnects between the islands are what create arbitrage opportunities. It's a game of exploiting these market inefficiencies before they vanish. Now that you get the basic concept, let's look at how traders actually pull this off. There are a few different flavors of crypto arbitrage, each with its own level of complexity and risk. First, the one everyone talks about: simple arbitrage or cross exchange arbitrage. This is our sneaker example. You buy a crypto on one exchange and sell it on another. For instance, you see Ethereum at $3,110 on exchange A and $3,140 on exchange B. The idea is to buy one ETH on A, transfer it to B, and sell for a $30 profit minus fees. This is the type of arbitrage most beginners dream about, and it's also the one packed with the most hidden dangers, which we'll get to in a minute. Second, there's triangular arbitrage. This one sounds fancy, but it all happens on a single exchange. Instead of jumping between platforms, you exploit tiny price discrepancies between three different cryptocurrencies. Here's how it works. On a single exchange, you might have trading pairs for Bitcoin to USDT, Ethereum to Bitcoin, and Ethereum to USDT. Sometimes the exchange rates between these three can slip out of sync for a split second. An opportunity would look like this. Start with, say, $10,000 in USDT. Trade that USDT for Bitcoin. Instantly trade that Bitcoin for Ethereum. Then instantly trade that Ethereum right back to USDT. If you end up with more than you started with, say $10,050, you've just pulled off triangular arbitrage. The big advantage is speed, since you aren't waiting on slow blockchain transfers. But the profit margins are usually paper thin, and the opportunities disappear in milliseconds, making them nearly impossible for a human to catch. Third, there's a more advanced strategy called spot futures arbitrage. This involves playing the gap between a crypto's current price, the spot price, and its price in the futures market. A futures contract is just an agreement to buy or sell an asset at a set price on a future date. Sometimes the futures price of Bitcoin might drift higher than its spot price. A trader could buy Bitcoin on the spot market and simultaneously sell a Bitcoin futures contract, locking in a guaranteed profit equal to the difference minus fees. This is a market neutral strategy because you're both long and short at the same time. So you don't care if Bitcoin's price goes up or down. It's a complex, capital heavy strategy usually left to pros and trading firms. There are even more complex strategies out there like DEX arbitrage and statistical arbitrage, but for now, we're going to focus on the simple cross exchange model because that's where most beginners make their most painful mistakes. So, how would you actually attempt a simple arbitrage trade step by step? Let's walk through the manual process. Understanding the mechanics is key, even if you'll soon see why doing this by hand is a losing game. Step 1. Get your accounts in order. First, you need accounts on multiple exchanges, at least two, but more likely several reputable ones like Binance, Coinbase, or Kraken. For each, you have to complete the full Know Your Customer verification. This isn't optional. Unverified accounts have strict withdrawal limits that will stop a trade dead in its tracks. Step 2. Pre-position your capital. This is a classic rookie mistake. Most beginners wait until they spot an opportunity to deposit money. That's way too slow. A real arbitrageur already has funds sitting on multiple exchanges, ready to go. This means splitting your capital and having stable coins like USDT or USDC on both Exchange A and Exchange B, poised for instant action. Step 3. Hunt for an opportunity. Now, the hunt begins. You need to monitor prices across these exchanges in real time. You could try this manually with a bunch of browser tabs open using sites like CoinMarketCap or CoinGecko. You're scanning for a meaningful price spread. Let's say you spot Cardano, ADA, at $0.45 on Exchange A and $0.47 on Exchange B. A 2-cent gap. Looks promising, right? Step 4. Do the math, the most important step. This is where the dream of free money crashes into the reality of fees. That 2-cent spread is not your profit. Before you click a single button, you have to calculate your net profit. You have to factor in trading fee on exchange. When you buy, you'll pay a fee, usually around 0.1%. Withdrawal fee from exchange. To move the ADA, you'll pay a fixed network fee. Trading fee on exchange B. When you sell, you'll pay another trading fee. Let's say you're trading $5,000. That gets you about 11,111 ADA at 45 cents. Buy fee, $5. Withdrawal fee. Let's assume it's 1 ADA, 45 cents. Sell price 11,110 ADA after withdrawal fee at 47 cents is $2,221.70. Sell fee 0.1%, $5.22. Your total costs are roughly $10.67. Your gross profit from the price difference is about $222. So your potential net profit is $222 minus $10.67 equals $211.33. In this perfect scenario, it looks like a go. Step 5, the mad dash to execute. You have to move like lightning. This opportunity might only last for seconds. You smash the button on a market order to buy 11,111 ADA on Exchange A. The second the purchase clears, you start the withdrawal, sending the ADA to your wallet address on Exchange B. And now you wait. This is the agonizing part. You're at the mercy of the blockchain as you wait for the transaction to confirm. Once the ADA finally lands in your Exchange B wallet, you immediately execute a market order to sell. Step 6, count your winnings or losses. If every single thing went perfectly, you now have more money on Exchange B than you started with on Exchange A. You've completed one arbitrage cycle. This process sounds simple, but I just glossed over a minefield of risks. That waiting period in step 5, that's where most beginners get wiped out. If the steps are so clear, why isn't everyone rich? Why did I say most people lose money? This is the section most tutorials conveniently leave out. Arbitrage isn't a battle of brains. It's a battle of speed and costs. And a manual trader is bringing a butter knife to a gunfight. Here are the real profit killers. 1. Transfer delays, the number one enemy. The price gap you spotted can disappear in the time it takes your crypto to move between exchanges. Blockchain networks aren't instant. A transfer can take minutes, or if the network is congested, even hours. You bought Cardano at 45 cents to sell at 47 cents. But in the 5 minutes it takes for the transfer to confirm, the price on Exchange B drops to 44 cents. The opportunity is gone. Now, not only did you miss the profit, but you're forced to sell at a loss or hold the coin and pray, which is no longer arbitrage, it's just risky speculative trading. This one factor completely shatters the risk-free narrative. 2. Fees, fees, and more fees. As we saw, fees chip away at your margins, but it gets worse. Withdrawal fees can be brutal on small trades, and network gas fees, especially on chains like Ethereum, can spike without warning, turning a profitable trade into a guaranteed loss before you even begin. 3. Slippage and low liquidity. When you place a big market order on an exchange with low trading volume, you get slippage. This means your order fills at a worse price than you expected because there aren't enough buyers or sellers at your target price. You might see a price of $1, but by the time your huge sell order goes through, the average price you got was 87 cents. Slippage can single-handedly erase a thin arbitrage margin. Fourth, you're competing against machines. This is the final nail in the coffin for manual arbitrage. The reality is that modern crypto markets are dominated by high-frequency trading bots. These are sophisticated algorithms, often housed in the same data centers as the exchange servers, that can spot and execute a trade in milliseconds, literally faster than you can blink. Any obvious arbitrage opportunity that a human can see is ancient history to a bot. You are too slow. 5. Exchange shenanigans. Sometimes the market is fine, but the platform fails you. Exchanges can go down for maintenance without warning, freeze withdrawals for a specific coin, or have their wallets under repair, trapping your funds right when you need them most. Combine all these: delays, fees, slippage, and bots, and the conclusion is unavoidable. Trying to perform manual cross-exchange arbitrage consistently is nearly impossible in today's market. While small opportunities of 0.1% to 2% might pop up, they are captured by automated systems in seconds. Because arbitrage sounds like free money, it's a magnet for scammers. If you see something that sounds too good to be true, it is. Here's what to run from. First, guaranteed profit platforms. This is red flag number 1. Any platform, bot, or person promising you guaranteed high or consistent returns from arbitrage is lying. Real arbitrage is a competitive, high-effort strategy, not a passive income machine. 2. The obscure exchange scam. This is a classic. A YouTube video or Telegram message alerts you to a massive price difference between a major exchange and some sketchy, unknown platform you've never heard of. The scam is the fake exchange will let you deposit your crypto, but it will never let you withdraw. Once your funds are in, they're gone forever. Stick to large, reputable exchanges. Third, give us your money, we'll arbitrage for you. These are just Ponzi schemes wearing a crypto trench coat. They ask you to deposit funds into their arbitrage pool and promise you daily returns. In reality, they're just using money from new victims to pay off earlier ones until the whole thing inevitably collapses. Legitimate arbitrage is done with your funds in your own exchange accounts. Anyone asking you to send them your crypto is almost certainly a scammer. If this clear-cut, no-hype breakdown of how crypto really works is helpful, and you want to learn how to tell the difference between real opportunities and marketing nonsense, do me a favor and hit that subscribe button. For my next video, I'm thinking of doing a deep dive into the safest, most beginner-friendly staking strategies for building passive income. If you want a full guide on that, drop a comment below with the word staking, and I'll get to work on it. And if you want a weekly rundown of the biggest opportunities and risks in crypto, make sure you're on my free newsletter. The link is in the description. So let's circle back. Is crypto arbitrage real? Yes, absolutely. It's a fundamental market force that helps keep prices efficient. But is it the free money cheat code everyone thinks it is? Absolutely not. Today's successful arbitrage is a game of millimeters and milliseconds. It is a high-speed, high-capital, high-volume endeavor dominated by hyper-sophisticated automated systems. For the average person trading manually, the combination of transfer delays, fees, and slippage makes it an incredibly difficult, if not impossible, way to make consistent money. The point of this video wasn't to crush your dreams, but to replace them with reality. Understanding why manual arbitrage fails is far more valuable than blindly trying it and losing your shirt. It teaches you to look at any investment with a critical eye, to always account for the risks and the costs, and to remember that in finance, there is no such thing as a free lunch. Thanks for watching, and as always, trade smart.